Classic League Podcast time!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 247 of the Classic Elite Podcast. My name is Scott, and I've got Dustin with me. Oh, I saw someone mention levels in the chat, and I freaked out. Like, oh my gosh. Dustin, what is going on, man?
Not much. Been working like a dog today.
I did not. I spent the day, it was my dad's birthday. We spent the day in Detroit at a Tigers game this afternoon. So
that's way better day than
I can guarantee I had a way better day. Anything you wanted to get off your chest as far as that, or just busy and boring to talk about?
Having to install software on numerous machines and not having a way to mass install software is a big pain.
Oh, tedious. And those are ripping Xeon processors, right? So it's super fast. Yes, this week for our intro, we had a little bit of a change. Last week I was listening to Zarek's live stream when we were done recording, and he gave a shout out to us before the podcast started. Mm-hmm. And it was him going, Classic Elite Podcast time. And I fell in love, and I clipped it. And now it's going to be a part of our intro until Zarek tells us, knock it off. But I love the idea of Classic Elite Podcast time and then ripping into the intro. It's a lot of fun. So Zarek, you'll have to let me know what you think of that. Yeah, I just ripped it from one of your streams and threw some reverb on it and had a lot of fun. So, yeah, man. So before we get into video game news and announcements and all that stuff, I got to tell you one quick thing about the Detroit game. Mm-hmm. A friend of mine, his dad, gave us a tip to go to a bar that used to be next to the old Tiger Stadium, the one from the 90s, or one that they ripped down in the 90s. That was the original Tiger Stadium. And there was this bar that used to be really popular, and now that bar is kind of in the middle of nowhere, but they have a bus service and free parking. So you go to this bar, you get free parking in Detroit sucks. It's just a nightmare. So you get to go out of your way. You don't have anything to worry about. You get nice cold beers, good hamburgers, and then they bus you over for tips. And then they pick you up from the stadium and bring you back to the bar. It was magical. And usually they charge like $20 to park, within a 10-minute walking. So, hell yes, I'm up for the bus ride. Yeah, I guess, do you have, outside of work, any fun stuff that you wanted to talk about before we jump in?
Well, I got to decorate.
Decorate?
Yes, for Halloween.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like your bathroom that you guys got remodeled.
No, gross. No.
What's your go-to going to be this year? Big outside, big inside, both?
We usually concentrate on the inside. We don't have any electrical plugs on the outside yet.
Oh, okay.
Because our house was built like 1,000,000 years ago. It's made of Adobe.
Adobe and asbestos.
But yeah, a bunch of stuff in the living room.
Cool. Did you find any more eBay treasures?
Oh, the spider, the Strobe spider.
All right, one down, one to go.
I haven't popped on it yet, but I got 6 days to make that determination.
Let's not kid ourselves. Is it a live auction? Is there no buy now? Is that why you don't have it yet?
I think it's an auction.
Okay.
I think if it's a buy now, then it'll probably be in the mail tomorrow.
Yeah. It is getting close to Halloween, the best holiday in the world. Do you know what you're going to be this year?
I don't know. Solly mentioned something about him being Mario, and I'll be Luigi.
Okay.
But at the same time, he wants a knight suit to go over his Sonic suit that we bought him for Summerween.
Okay.
So he could be Knight Sonic from that one Wii game.
He's hitting home runs with every swing up to this point, as far as I can tell. Yeah, you would make a good Luigi too.
I think so.
maybe not always, but next to a 4-year-old.
With my thick Italian accent.
Hey, well, you know.
I'm a better Luigi than John Leguizamo.
I don't know. He was one of the best parts of that movie.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I like John Leguizamo a lot too. He would do stand up in the 90s on HBO, and for some reason it just cracked me up. I just thought he was amazing. So I'm going to be a wizard this year, but I think I'm going to go with more of a Grim Reaper face look. White paint, black circles on my eyes, stuff like that. Instead of doing a beard, because I'm going to a party, I don't want to mess around with shit on my face.
Right.
You know, I want drinking to be convenient. So
yeah,
I think I'm going to be a wizard, and that should be a lot of fun. Halloween is going to be awesome this year. My friends are having a party, and I'm not telling them it's my birthday. I hate when people know it's my birthday.
Yeah.
So we'll see if I can get away with it. A few of my friends that are going to be there never forget my birthday.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can keep it low key. They know they'll either respect me or they'll troll me hard and lean in like, hey, everybody, let's embarrass him. So, all right, man. Well, let's get into the show this week. We've got some announcements. Of course, we have the quarterfinals of the Retro League tournament to help determine the best video game of 1992. If you are listening to the archive of this, but you would like to participate in the conversation, make sure to join us on Wednesday nights on YouTube. It's where we stream. We have the chat up, and Dustin shares the stories of what we're talking about so that you can follow along if you would like. Also, we accept stories through the chat. So, Dustin, it's quarterfinal, so you might as well do the Retro League tournament up front, right?
Yeah.
All right,
let's do it.
Let's do it. So, right. So right now we are picking the champion of the Super Nintendo, the arcade champion, the Sega Genesis champion, and PC and Mac champion. So does that mean that all of our TurboGrafx 16 and Atari games got nixed?
Gate of Thunder is still holding strong.
Okay. All right. So we still got one. All right. Hey, we got the Retro League here. What's up, Rob or Hugh? I don't know who it is, but thanks for stopping by. So now that we got the pressure on, Dustin, the NCAA heads are watching. So so the Super Nintendo bracket, we have The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past versus the Wild Card champion. Oh, so the Super Nintendo champion. The formatting got weird on my end, so sorry about that. So the Super Nintendo champion is The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, and it is going up against the Wild Card champion, which is Airzonk. I'd rather play Zelda.
Yeah.
But shout out to Airzonk for making it this far.
Yeah. Well done.
So Gate of Thunder.
That's like when Gonzaga makes it to the Elite Eight. Like, yeah, well done, Gonzaga.
Congratulations. Or when my Notre Dame Fighting Irish do. It's like you exceeded expectations, you know.
Valparaiso. Good job, guys.
The only reason we know what Valparaiso is because of one NCAA tournament run in the 90s. You don't even watch basketball and you know Valparaiso. So we have the arcade champion, which is the X-Men arcade game, the beat 'em up, and the 16-bit CD champion is Gate of Thunder. I want to vote for Gate of Thunder. Do you disagree?
It is so good. That game is so good.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's take a second again to describe Gate of Thunder for people that might not have been here last time you gushed about it.
It is a horizontal shooter where if you double tap the attack button, you can fire forwards or backwards. You have 3 different weapons that you can switch between at any given time. The soundtrack will rock your face off. It's good. It's so good. And it comes on a compilation disc where you get the first 2 bonks and a Secret Bomberman game.
Really?
It's a true story.
A Secret Bomberman game.
Mm-hmm. You have to put in a code to unlock it.
So it's probably out there, like, nefariously. But, is it the only... that Bomberman game is the only release of it on this compilation? Do you know?
What do you mean?
Well, you said a Secret Bomberman game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is this the only release of that Bomberman game, or is it available separate and it's an Easter egg in the game?
That's a good question. I assume it's just the TurboGrafx version
Oh, okay.
of Bomberman, but just hidden on this disc.
I focus so heavily on Secret. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
there's a little ROM hack. So, yeah, Gate of Thunder. It's an awesome shoot 'em up. We have Sega Genesis Champion, which is, of course, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, The Manhattan Project on the NES Champion. I'm a little surprised a Mega Man didn't make it through all the way through the NES Championship.
Yeah, it was 4 and 5 though, right?
It was, which also is weird. It's 4 and 5 in the same calendar year.
Yeah.
Was Kirby's Adventure in this one, or is that last year?
Or is it next year? I'm not sure.
It couldn't have been this year. There's no way this would have beat Kirby, right? The problem with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 on the NES is it has that bullshit mechanic where if you use a super, you lose health.
Oh, yeah.
That is, I've said it before, it's okay in an arcade machine the second quarters. It is not okay ever on a console.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, Hugh says that, it was Hugh Card. So the retro league, either Rob or Hugh, says that there was also a Hugh Card release.
That would be the perfect nickname for him. He should go with that. Like
Hugh
Hugh
Card?
and then in parentheses card.
That should just be his handle.
Yeah.
For all internet stuff moving forward. We got chat's going kind of crazy. We got Zarek says the votes are humiliating for Air Zonk. I guess that's what happens when you're up against Legend of Zelda. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you organize a space party? Dustin, you plan it.
That's great.
Well done, Welsh Dragon. You fit right in. We love dad jokes. I got to steal one from All Def Digital. What vegetable is the best at martial arts?
What?
Broccoli.
Oh man,
So stupid. I love All Def Digital's dad jokes are so hilarious. I'll marathon those. What do you call a marathon with a bunch of priests?
what?
A rev run. Okay, we're gonna move on to the tournament. So Dustin, would we rather play Sonic the Hedgehog 2 or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3?
Well, if you play Sonic 2-player, somebody's got to be Tails.
Boy, that's a really strong argument for Turtles.
Yeah.
It's up to you. We going Turtles?
Yeah, let's go with Turtles.
Turtles, all right. I'm cool with that.
Just to be subversive.
I'll watch it dominate when we see the results. Everyone's been a hipster with it. And then in the PC Mac category, we had Wolfenstein 3D, of course, make to the championships. The Game Boy, Super Mario Land 2, the 6 golden coins. I think this is a very difficult choice. Wolfenstein 3D is good, and it is how do you say, like, instrumental and the first person shooters, right? It was what made it feasible, but it gets really repetitive, I think, and there's more variation in 6 golden coins.
Yeah, I'd rather play Super Mario Land.
Okay, there it is. So let's see here. We've got the votes, and Zarek was not kidding. Legend of Zelda's in the lead, 92% to 7%. So, or 7, almost 8%.
That's the 5 people that have ever played Air Zonk.
They know what they love. Let's see here. X-Men is beating Gate of Thunder. That sucks. Sonic is crushing Turtles. And Wolfenstein's beating Super Mario. Dustin, we do not know how to pick them, man. Let's see. George McCrate says Wolfenstein also made the first ban in Germany. That was one of the first ones that... I know that game's been censored a bunch of different ways, and I know Germany has had to... I think Probotector, Contra, wasn't that a Germany thing? Didn't Probotector exist because of the German rules related to the violence in Contra?
I think so.
They swapped out... I think it was Germany was the reason that they did that. We know that it was because they couldn't shoot people, so they had to shoot robots. Mm-hmm. If this was bar trivia, I'd be betting Germany.
I always bet Germany.
So, Zarek says my only off pick was Mario 2. Awesome. So he's got good taste. No, we should just say he's mainstream. Unimpressed. So yeah, thank you. Make sure to go listen to the Retro League podcast. As they say, we do a video game or a retro gaming news show, and they've been at it for 9 years or whatever, and there's still retro news every week for them to talk about, which is great. Retro League says that anything with Nazi symbolism is banned in Germany.
Too bad that wasn't the case back in the 40s, right?
All right. Could have saved us all a lot of trouble. See, now this would be a fun... If we did do a politics podcast, this would be a fun sideways to go on. We'd offend some people, but it would be fun.
Right.
So, go to the Retro League podcast, listen to their awesome show, and it's great that they're every year doing this tournament to determine the best video game of that year. Angela says that they patched Destiny 2 because of the swastika. Well, actually, it was that Kekistan, that, like, joke thing that the fake nation that's oppressed, that a lot of the alt-right people say that it's a made-up country. It doesn't exist. But they say that they're oppressed. Like, they use the same social justice rules to apply the ability for them to claim like oppression points because they're a small country that no one pays attention to. It's a satire thing, but it made it into Destiny 2, and they pulled it out.
Come on, man.
If a lot of people do think it is legitimately Nazi stuff and it's not like a play on it, I can understand that. Not everyone's in on the joke. So, all right, let's talk about some news, man.
Yes, let's do it.
Fortnite. I'm going to put this in heavy quotes, accidentally enabled PlayStation 4 and Xbox to play in a cross-play compatibility. Put that back.
I'm ruining everything. Thank God for Control-C.
Right? So, what essentially happens from a technical standpoint, the ability for the two consoles to play together is possible. And I guess Sony has been the one to not give the consent. And according to the GameSpot article, it says despite that, Fortnite reportedly enabled cross-platform play between two consoles over the weekend. Although that has not been turned off, that now has been turned off and chalked up to an error. It says a number of Reddit posts have emerged over the last few days with accounts of crossplay working. This was seemingly first discovered by user Precision. Who noted that while playing PS4, they were in a game alongside someone using a space in their username. Spaces are not allowed in PSN usernames, suggesting that it was an Xbox One player. That's some... See, I would have just assumed it was like Rocket League, how PC and PlayStation play back and forth. Yeah. I never would have known that PlayStation doesn't allow spaces and Xbox does. Did you know that?
That's weird. No.
So let's keep our fingers crossed that maybe Sony will give permission, at least maybe on a per title basis.
Is that Epic?
If it's not Epic,
Fortnite?
I think it's the Cliffy B thing. No, that was That was Brawlers or something? All right, we got a Fortnite. I don't know. Do you want to Google that, I guess, while I go on to the next? If you want to know who works on that. So, yeah, we'll figure out who Fortnite is, whether that was Lawbreakers. What the hell? I'll figure out what I'm talking about here in a little bit. So, the next news item is Valve is working on a way to take care of their review bomb problem. And we've talked about it before. A game developer does something that their community doesn't like, or gamers in general don't like. You see this on Amazon too. People won't like a company and they'll go just leave negative reviews for no reason. Or no reason related to the game, I should say. And this happened to Firewatch. A lot of people were upset with how they handled their displeasure for the way PewDiePie acted on stream. And so because of the way that Firewatch came out publicly and threatened to use DMCA stuff when they gave him permission, it caused a lot of people to go to Steam and just start negatively reviewing the game, even though Firewatch has always been rated as very positive. It's being brought down. So what Valve's working on right now is a graph that shows the time of, hey, it was negative here and then it went positive. So like No Man's Sky would be very negative, but you'd be able to see it's been very positive recently. This is the inverse of that. But it would be nice to see, oh, it's mixed. Has it always been mixed? Were there any spikes? It's nice to have more information. I don't think it's going to prevent people from review bombing. I'm not sure if you can do that.
Right.
But at least they're trying to think of ways to at least give the consumer information as much as possible. They started doing that thing where you could split verified purchased games versus just a random Steam review. So I'm not opposed to this. Them trying to protect their developers.
Yeah.
Well, I don't feel bad for Firewatch because I wasn't happy with how they acted. Part of me is like, that's funny that they got review bombed, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not a good thing for the marketplace. Right. Legitimate reviews. So I'm glad to see Valve doing something about that kind of stuff. Oh, I forgot to link this, Dustin. There was a N64 ROM hack.
Okay.
And Nintendo just shut it down. And it allowed like up to 8 people to play in Super Mario 64 all at the same time.
Cool.
And they did 2 different copyright strikes on this channel, but they didn't do the third. There's a Polygon article. Here, I'll throw it in the chat for everybody. Alright. Oh yeah, Pat Naples says a ton of bad games are released on Steam. I'm sure some reviewed games are just... I'm sure some reviewed games get unjust ratings. Yeah, if your game stinks, I want the rating to be related to the product and not your opinion of the person.
Yeah.
So... okay, here it is. So Nintendo made multiple copyright strikes against a ROM hacker who has revealed Super Mario 64 online. It's just cool. I'm gonna have an article linked, but it says that they managed to take some old files from the game and they weren't able to make a legal argument, so the cease and desist or whatever has to stay there. And unfortunately, the person that did this, Kay's Amenauer, also mentioned that his Patreon got shut down.
Of course.
But again, I mean, if you're infringing on someone's copyright, I'm not that opposed to you being shut down for it. It's not a fair loophole to take donations when you're using someone else's stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So, I feel bad for the guy that he had all this hard work be ripped down, but that's the risk you take, I guess, playing with other people's IP.
Yeah.
Especially Nintendo's.
Yeah. Go for Sega. They don't care.
They don't care. They wouldn't. They'll say, "Do you need any tools? Do you need any resources?"
Right.
Here's how our netcode works.
8 people playing Streets of Rage 2. We'll put it on our Twitter.
They would.
Yeah.
Sonic would the Sonic Twitter handle would be talking shit to people. I do picture this N64 though with this hack with a bunch of Marios running around. Mm-hmm. This is an MMO I think I could get into.
Right.
You're out there grinding Goombas and hitboxes. You run around so the boxes respawn. Or you see like 100 Marios just waiting for a Goomba to pop.
I just want a Nintendo 64 hack where, or a Mario 64 hack where you throw the bomb off the top of the mountain and it actually hurts him.
We throw a bomb off?
Yeah, because there's the big pink bomb, purple bomb at the top of the mountain.
Oh,
on the very first level.
Yes, yes.
And you have to grab him and throw him onto the top of the mountain to hurt him. You have to do that 3 times. But if you take him and you throw him off the mountain completely, he just pops back up and be like, that didn't hurt.
Yeah.
Like, I threw you off a mountain.
Dude. I'm with you.
Go right to hell.
Video games need to be realistic from now on. Even our N64 hacks.
Right.
So I thought it was very interesting that someone pulled that off. Did I put the... okay, we will here in a second. So which of these next stories do you want to talk about?
What's up with the bug fix? Final Fantasy 3 bug fix.
So last week I had mentioned that Tony and I are going to play through Final Fantasy 6. Which is 3 here in the U.S. So Damez sent us an email that said, hey, what version of the ROM are you playing? When I mentioned I was going to play it on a ROM instead of the Steam port, which I didn't care for. Mm-hmm. And he said that one of the spells or one of the things in the game is called evade.
Okay.
And it just doesn't work in the original retail release. It just is broken. Okay. And there are also some other bug fixes that he didn't explain, but I was searching through forums to figure out what was going on. And I found an evade patch. So I took my ROM, I used a program called Lunar IPS, and it applied that patch. So now evade works. Evade was something that in the Game Boy Advance version they did correct, and it did work appropriately.
Okay.
This is different, but in the first Final Fantasy, I forget what it was, but Pro Jared did a review of it recently, and he pointed out something. He's like, yeah, this just does not work. You can select it. It never got programmed. And it was like a fire spell or something. So it seems like evade would allow you to have something miss you, and it 100% hits every time. It doesn't evade anything. So it's like busted. Hey, Grim Reaper, good to see you, man. So I have a patch for Final Fantasy 3, and a lot of bug fixes have been taken care of. Not all of them, because the people haven't fixed it to the way that the Game Boy Advance was. I guess I could get that version if I wanted, but I feel pretty comfortable playing a patch ROM, and thanks to Damez, I never would have known that I was playing a potentially broken game. But I feel like with this patch and an FAQ, I'll be good to go.
You evaded the problem.
Damn, 1 point, man. Very good. I don't. Have you ever done anything like that, patching your own stuff?
No, actually, that's not true. You have to patch the PC version, the Steam version of Max Payne, to get any sound to come out. Okay. So a little bit.
Not much, though.
No.
I've done a little bit of like adjusting stuff in an INI file, or putting something in and removing it. This is the first time I actually did like an official patch and not like a mod or an edit. I edited the one INI file I remember editing was the Batman Arkham Knight when that whole PC dumpster fire was coming out.
Yep.
They had it locked at 30 frames a second, and there was a forum post that showed the INI file that you can edit to change the cap to 60.
Mm-hmm.
But it caused all sorts of other weird problems. So I see why they didn't allow that to happen. All right, next up, the Tomb Raider trailer drop for Tomb Raider 2018 with Alicia Vikander. Did you see the poster by chance?
I did, yeah.
How would you describe what that looks like?
Badly photoshopped.
It looks like, was it Mr. Fantastic?
Yeah.
She's got this rubber neck. This huge 2-foot long neck. It's awkward to look at.
Yeah.
So you know how I don't like to watch spoilers or watch trailers because of spoilers and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
My initial reaction was don't watch the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
That's dumb. I played the damn game it was based on. I know what's going to happen in that movie. I watched the trailer, and it looks a lot like... They hit a lot of beats in the trailer that they did in the video game.
Okay.
And I liked that game, so fingers crossed. Like, her pickaxe looks right. She looks right. The little gadgets she's playing with look right.
Does she use a bow?
Yes. I'm disappointed. The way she... You know how sometimes actors clearly, like, can't throw the baseball, but yet they're starring as a pitcher?
Right, yeah.
It's like, you've never played sports growing up, you can tell. The way she pulled the arrow back, it was like, come on. It didn't look right. It didn't look like aggressive enough.
Yeah. It was like her first day on set or something.
Kinda, yeah. It was not a good take. Hopefully that's either reshot or edited. Edited? Was that too many? I don't know. Excuse me. So, yeah, she did not look convincing pulling the bow and arrow, but otherwise, I liked the trailer. I thought it was good.
Maybe that's like it's in the narrative. That's like when she first finds the bow and she's like learning to take care of herself.
Oh, okay. All right.
But by the end of it, she looks like super professional.
Well, why would they have her look like a wimp in the trailer? Wouldn't they just show the badass version? Angela says she ruins Laura Croft's image. Oh no, we got some people unhappy with it. I have such a crush on her. She'd been about anything, and I'd go watch it. Ex Machina. I adore that movie. So
Angela said she needs the pixelated boobage.
Okay, she is not Angelina Jolie or original OG Laura Croft. She's not as well endowed.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
That also is unrealistic. If you've got boobs in the way, come on. No one believed in Angelina Jolie curving bullets in the first one. And if she doesn't have huge boobs, then don't. Just leave them alone. I don't know. But Laura Croft, I think Alicia Vikander is going to be really good in it. Angela, I'll be curious to see what you don't like about it. Just, she says, I played all the Tomb Raiders since the PS, and I'm unhappy with this movie coming out. I guess if you're a big fan, I'm not a real big fan of Tomb Raider. So I don't care if they make creative liberties with it. So Kenneth, that's good. So Kenneth says, wow, leave for a second, come back to boobage. So but the real thing to take away from this is her neck is so poorly photoshopped. She looks like a dinosaur.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it at first.
That's part of the narrative.
She's an alien?
Yeah.
George Lucas wrote this one. Okay, all right. That would get me on Angela's side real fast. Next, this is just a real brief thing. Dustin, I mentioned this a while ago. 8-Bit Do was making that Pro controller for the Switch. and it's available for pre-order. It's going to be $50, and it looks like a Super Nintendo controller, but has all the features that you'd want in a Switch Pro controller for $20 less. Hopefully it's good. I've liked the 8-bit do stuff I've used in the past. I've heard their controllers feel good and correct. So fingers crossed. If you were to get a Switch, would you put any thought into getting a Pro controller? But is this one or the real one?
I don't know. I'd have to use the Joy-Cons first, see what they think, what they feel like.
I thought for sure I was going to get a Pro controller, and I've been fine with the little 2 Joy-Cons docked in the little thing. So it's fine for me. All right, and then the last thing. This is the coolest news of the week. Did you happen to see this article about Iwata?
Yeah. There's a tribute to Satoru Iwata in every single Switch.
At like the firmware level or something like that.
Yeah.
And you have to hack the hell out of the system in order to find these files. And I guess it's a built-in emulator into every Switch, because it actually plays the game.
Yeah.
Did you ever play this game much? Just black box golf?
I may have fired it up like for half a second and be like, nah, whatever. This is dumb. I'm going to play Ninja Gaiden.
13 under, baby. Freshman year of college. I got really good at that game. I love that original golf game. It started the 3-point swing. It's great. I don't know. I love that game. I'm a sucker for golf games, but once again, Satoru Iwata just being amazing.
Yep.
I think this is a very cool... I don't know. Part of me wishes that this had never been uncovered, and only the Nintendo engineers knew about it.
Yeah. That's just not going to happen.
No, it's not. If you were to make a... okay, let's say that Sully makes a video game console in the future.
Okay.
What's
the Solivision?
The Solivision. Dude.
There you have it.
Hey,
Trademark.
You have not been using your brain at work, because it's on all cylinders. What would you want him to program in as your Easter egg game, Nod to Dad?
Castlevania. And then when you beat it, it says Vogue Nasty instead of Belmondo.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say like your princess is in another castle, Vania, and it unlocks Simon's Quest. I'd probably go with Contra. That's the one I'm most proud of playing. It's not my favorite, but that's probably the one I would like to be known for, I guess.
Yeah.
Or I'd like a little music thing in there. Like I really like Radiohead, so having the little bear symbol in there, or like Tool like thing would be funny. So
you could do Contra, but you can only get hit once, and then it's game over.
Dude. Yes.
There you have it.
I'm on board with that. You got to get to my level, right?
That's right.
I told someone recently that Contra came up, and I was like, believe it or not, I've beat that game without dying. And they were like, no way. And I'm like, it's nerdy enough to capture it on footage. I can send you a video of me doing it. He's like, all right, I believe you. So, all right, cool. So, hats off to the Nintendo Switch team that put a nice little Easter egg nod to the amazing president, Satoru Iwata. All right, man. So, Dustin, it's YouTube channel of the week time. It's blank.
It is. I've got nothing. I've been too busy.
Dustin has watched all of YouTube.
Yeah. We featured them all.
I'm going to give a shout out then to John's Arcade. This is John Jacobson. Just search for John's Arcade in YouTube. And he has a full basement of original arcade machines that he's restored. And he documents the restoration process, errors and all. It's awesome. I'm addicted to watching this guy. I have been a subscriber for years now. My favorite is probably his 19-part restoration of the game Journey.
Okay.
He finds this, the band Journey had a video game that flopped, but I heard it's decent and it had a lot of neat things to it. So so I'm going to recommend watching his Journey restoration, and there's so many neat things to it. The way that some of the control panel artwork was, and they had 2 different sound systems in it. One would do like the normal 8-bit sound chip stuff like you'd hear in a regular arcade machine. But if you got to the 5th and final level, there was a tape that would play a 3-minute edit of Separate Ways. So you'd have the real band audio coming out of an arcade machine in 1983, which was unheard of. Watching him try to figure out how to get that tape working was glorious. At one point, like, Lowe's gave him the wrong paint, and that was a whole issue and turned into a little meme in the arcade community. But John Jacobson, he's also the host of Video Game Outsiders. It's a podcast I mentioned before with his co-host, Michelle Madison. But I really like John's arcade stuff. So go to John's Arcade and check that out. He's how I know how to solder things. He's how I understand the basics of rudimentary electronics, like that stereo that I got back together and all that. So
you're listening to badass albums because of this guy.
Yeah. He gave me the knowledge to do that. And when I switch out my guitar pickups and I get my American Standard pickups in there, it will be because of John Jacobson teaching me how to solder on YouTube.
Sweet.
It's just something about when you just really like someone's personality and you don't really care what they're doing. You just enjoy hearing them talk. He's one of those guys for me. All right, man. Let's talk about some Halloween stuff.
Okay, good, because I haven't played video games in like a million years, I think. So I've hit a pretty good stride when it comes to podcasts.
Okay.
And I wanted to plug them. Okay, so our first guys, I found out about them because they actually followed us on Twitter. And hopefully I've been entertaining them with my dad jokes.
I'm sure you have. Our impressions have gone up since you've been dropping dad jokes.
Yes. It's Tex Chris Dave Saw Massacre. And the guys are Chris and Dave, and it's a horror podcast.
Awesome. How have they been doing it a long time? Just a year or so into it? Do you have any idea?
They are 48 episodes in.
Okay.
So they're pretty new.
Yeah. Well, but relative to us, but 48 episodes, that's a real commitment, though.
Yeah. Getting past, 20 is probably?
Yeah, if you can get past 10 to 20,
yeah,
I think that you've got a legit show. And if you get into the hundreds, you're just dumb. You're just wasting your time.
Okay, the second one is the Grave Plot podcast.
Okay. That's a good pun.
Yeah, it's just like two normal dudes talking about horror movies, and they're kind of the giant bomb of horror podcasts so far because they go like 3 hours.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
That's tough, man. We did some 3-hour shows in the past, and ours didn't hold a candle to what those giant bomb guys do every week.
They change it up a little bit though, because they'll have like an interview for 30 minutes, and they'll play that interview. They'll talk about news and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Cool. Oh, Zarek also said a new Angry Video Game Nerd episode dropped today. I thought I saw that, so I'm excited to watch it. I have not seen it. Nope. Zarek says I'm gonna love it. I'm excited. Awesome. I'm excited. Yeah, James Rolfe I adore that guy. He does so much good stuff.
Yeah.
I just have so much respect for him.
He's been doing it for like 10 years now, right?
And he keeps
Longer
getting
now.
better and better.
Yeah.
That's shocking to me. There's some times where bands, I think, are a good example. As soon as they get a budget on production, it starts to get all, I don't know, corny, like a little too polished.
Yeah.
Like Incubus is a good example of that. You start getting all these radio hits and stuff. James Rolfe gets awesome equipment, and the fidelity changes, and he just starts getting crazier and better with the edits. It's awesome.
He's just still taking fake poops on video games. It's just clearer now.
It's just, well, because he's doing the prep for the colonoscopy. I'm sorry, that's gross. But everyone says that when you're getting ready for those, eventually you're just pooing liquid because it's all gone. Ava's favorite is his Berenstain Bears episode. I think my favorite is probably his Mega Man one.
Mm-hmm.
That's one where he goes back in time and do his own episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one.
That one. And then Superman 64.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it was about that episode. It cracked me up. And the one that got me hooked was I saw his Turtles video. And I was crying. I couldn't believe someone was articulating the frustration of that game so well. And millions of other people felt that way.
Were, of course, the Halloween ones where he did like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Those were
really good.
Yeah, I really like the Jason ones too, just because seeing Mike Matei, knowing it's him in the mask and how he didn't want to be on camera at all back then, and now he's almost the face of that channel. It's cool to know that he was being all shy there and still did really well. So, what are the Halloween stuff you got?
The Purple Stuff podcast.
Okay.
This is a collaboration between Dinosaur Dracula and the Sexy Armpit. And they...
I'm a sucker for armpits, by the way. For all you ladies out there listening.
They talk about pop culture stuff, nostalgia stuff, but they get super in-depth in Halloween stuff when the season rolls around. Like they drove hours and hours to get to a Krispy Kreme so they could try the one-day pumpkin spice donut that they had.
Okay. I didn't understand what a big deal Krispy Kreme was until I lived in North Carolina.
Yeah.
It's a religion in North Carolina. Cheerwine and Krispy Kremes. Otherwise, get out. Go to South Carolina.
That's what the rest of the United States is for. Get out.
Oh, hey, Hugh says the Purple Stuff podcast is great, so you're not alone.
All right.
Yeah, Zerg's talking about his favorite. He liked his energy in the Battletoads episode, where he's telling Justin. It's tough when people have two first names.
Yeah.
The theme song writer, when he yells at him to get behind the couch, it's good stuff. So, okay. Any other Halloween stuff?
I'm gonna end. Okay, let's see. Okay, gosh, there's so much. Okay, Every Day is Halloween.
All right.
By Horror Guy Keenan. He uploads irregularly, but he adds a whole lot of music to his. He'll begin with a song and he'll end with a song.
Okay.
And they're always really good. I've added a few to my Halloween playlist because of him. The Audio Dead Horror Podcast. It's just two dudes talking about horror. It's really funny because I'll listen to one. It's called Good Morning Nancy. And it's a horror podcast by two ladies.
Okay.
And it's very much from the ladies' point of view. And then on the flip side of the coin is Audio Dead Podcast, where they're just talking about like this movie sucks, but the tits were great, that kind of thing. Okay. So they're very much opposite sides of the coin.
Did you ever listen to I don't know if Patrick Klepek and his wife still do one, but they had a horror podcast.
Oh, I never listened to that. No.
Yeah, the two of them have I forget what it's called. But this was back when he worked at Kotaku.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if he's still trying to fill all his time.
That one job ago? Yeah.
Yeah, he left Giant Bomb when he got hired in at Kotaku. And then when Austin Walker got hired by Vice, he hired Patrick away from Kotaku to do Vice Gaming. It's called Waypoint now. So that's neat. Yeah, I don't listen to Waypoint, but I like seeing people do well.
Yeah.
And Patrick Klepek's Mario Maker stuff, I couldn't get enough of it. He's also a very nice guest on the podcast.
He was, yeah.
It was very nice. It was very
He was
fun
very
interview.
on.
But yeah, try to look for that podcast. They're talking about movies, so it's not like the archive's going to be garbage or anything.
Right.
You know, so I'll try to find that and send it to you when we're done. Dustin, I watched the Cyberpunk thing.
Ooh.
Ghost in the Shell. I watched the recent movie with Scarlett Johansson. So now I'm gonna be able to watch the anime one from the 90s because it's on Amazon Prime. I think it's available somewhere for me to just watch, but I haven't rented it. Ghost in the Shell. When I picture Cyberpunk, I picture more of this world, the kind of the neons juxtaposed to the dark stuff, versus the Ridley Scott Blade Runner, where it's a lot of sepia tone and browns and blacks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This has more of that neon future to it, and so I like the aesthetic of the movie a lot. I love Scarlett Johansson, but she was too inconsistent with the acting at times. I like the movie. Since I haven't seen the anime, I can't comment on whether I liked it more than that or not. But I know you and Chris Stockman liked it a lot, so I'm like, all right,
I did. Yeah.
It's on sale. I'm gonna watch it. I just wish that she would have stayed a little more consistent. Sometimes she acted like a human, and sometimes she acted like a robot. But several times in the movie, they're like, she's a robot with a human brain inside. So I would just wish that they would have went consistent with how she was delivering stuff.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, it was just a fun Cyberpunk movie.
Yeah.
I thought the music was excellent. I liked the visuals. You could tell it wasn't like James Cameron budget. They did really good. I think her hair was a little too wispy at times. I know that sounds weird.
There's dress effects.
There's something about seeing anime hair in real life that it doesn't compute for me. And hers, I wish they would have had like Aeon Flux, like slicked hair. Hers was like a little wavy at times, and I wanted like precise, clean anime lines, you know. But you got me to watch it, and I enjoyed the movie. I don't know if it's going to make my Blu-ray cut, but I would happily watch it again and recommend people to check it out. I liked Ghost in the Shell.
You could pretty much, I think, you mentioned the music. I think you could compile like paint commercials, like all the paint commercials in the world. If you put like an arpeggiated synth soundtrack over it, I would watch every one of them.
Me too. In fact, chat, quiet. We own this. It's time-stamped. We're doing it. We're just going to take paint commercials and put awesome music over it. It got me to really... it got me in like a synthwave mood. I started listening to a lot of Perturbator, whatever that French guy was. That obviously some Carpenter Brute, stuff like that. And then going through some of the chiptune songs I've played recently that had a real kind of synth cyberpunk vibe to it. Just put me in a nice mood, man. You've really got me all in on really enjoying the cyberpunk stuff. And it's funny, my brother's like, I didn't realize you like synthwave so much. He'll be over here playing music, and I'll put on some Carpenter Brute or something like that. He's like, didn't expect it. This is awesome. But so that's I liked it. If you haven't watched Ghost in the Shell, I'd recommend checking it out. I really thought it was a fun movie. And I also had $5 to spend on Vudu. I had $5 of credit. Mm-hmm. So I got to watch it in 4K.
Ooh.
At a discount. So that was nice.
The Cyberist of punk.
The Cyberist of punks. I know, we just seen it in VR. Have you ever watched Red Label Media or Red Letter Media? The Mr. Plinkett. He does like the 2-hour Star Wars reviews where he just picks it apart.
Yeah, I think I watched the Ghostbusters.
Oh, that recent Ghostbusters one's awesome. They did a discussion about Blade Runner, and I just couldn't stop thinking about you and Zarek the whole time. It's great. So next, I also, as far as video games, I played about halfway through the campaign of Halo 5.
Cool.
I think I mentioned last week, Tony hooked me up with a copy of Halo 5. Destiny's out, so since I don't want to get clobbered in multiplayer and I don't want to hunt for loot, Halo 5 sounded absolutely perfect. So big thanks to Tony for that. And I really enjoyed it. And also, Tony saw that Van Helsing was on sale. Mm-hmm. So he bought me a copy of Van Helsing, and so we played that a bit together. The cool thing about this Van Helsing fork, though, is Tony's building a budget PC.
Okay.
So he's used some older recycled parts. He bought a low-profile graphics card, and he's getting for the system he's got is probably only like $250 that he's cobbled together, and he's playing games at 1080p on medium settings. He said Van Helsing ran pretty well. That's awesome.
Yeah.
He was just like, I've got some stuff. I'm gonna put it together, and he spent $70 on a low-profile NVIDIA 1030, which I didn't even know was a card that existed. And he got it working and fired up. And Van Helsing's cool. It's like Diablo, but it's controller-based. So it's more like a console Diablo.
Cool.
And it looks good. It plays good. Tony and I have no problem connecting with one another to sign into games, so it was awesome. Then I also played two Switch games this last week. We were sent codes for 36 Fragments to Midnight and Lightspeer. 36 Fragments to Midnight is a $3 game. It's one kind of screen, essentially. You can move around in the world, but it's just one world. And it seems to orient itself randomly every time that you start a new run. And there's just 36 orbs. You find them, and then the game's over. You're done.
All right.
The double jump's busted.
Oh, no.
I wouldn't say I rage quit, but I was streaming last night and I'm like, that's it, I'm done. I'm done. It's too inconsistent, and there's no visual indication of whether you're doing something right or not. And it's really frustrating to play a game like that because it looks like, how could I possibly be screwing this up?
Yeah.
From a viewer perspective, it's terrible. The game's got a cool ambiance. When the butt jumps work, it controls like Super Meat Boy. It's nice, but I don't know if it needs patched. I was saying on stream, I'm tempted to actually buy it on Steam just because I'm curious about this controller issue. Maybe it's me, maybe it's not. Yeah, Angela was there last night. She's like, Scott had it last night with that game. I did. I was like, I'm out. I'm taking a 10-minute break. I'll be back with something else I want to play. And Lightspeer. I saw a little bit about this when I came out on Steam a month or two ago. Do you know anything about this?
No, you were trying to talk about it last week.
Okay. Did I talk about Angry Birds last week? Am I gonna review? Okay. So, Essentially, the game is you're a little character on the right, stuff's on the left of the screen, stuff's just coming at you on the right. And all you do is throw a spear to kill enemies that are coming to take you over.
Okay.
The thing that's backwards for me is there's no way to invert the controls. And instead of aiming the tip of the spear to throw it, I want it to behave like a slingshot when it comes to controls. So if I hit back left with the, like down and left with the analog stick, I expect it to go up and to the right to affect, like I want to control the butt of the spear and the game wants me to control the tip of the spear. So it's completely backwards from what my brain's telling me to do.
Yeah.
But once you do get the feel for it, it's awesome. It's addicting. I played 36 fragments to midnight for 25 minutes, and it felt like hours. I played Lightspeer, what felt like 20 minutes, and the stream was over an hour. So I think that says something. And then Lightspeer also, it has that one more try thing, like real bad.
Yeah.
I said 3 more tries, and it was probably 6 more before I finally... Zarek called me out enough that I'm like, I'm done. You're right. I got to stop now. So that's what I have been playing this last week. Hopefully I'll have another stream Tuesday. I'm going to try to play something retro. And hopefully soon I'll have an unboxing of that Coffee Crisis game for the Sega Genesis up on our channel so people can look at the packaging and stuff, because it's pretty cool. All right, man. Well, that's it for what we have been playing. So let's get to our comments from last week, and then we'll call it a show. So, all right. Who we got first? Do you have that up?
I do.
I'm asking because I do not. So, can you? I still don't have it up. Could you go?
Do you want me to stall for you?
Or just start the next segment and I'll catch up.
Okay.
Just start reading comments.
You want me to read Tony's comment?
Yes.
Okay. He says,
I don't care what you read at this point. Just stop the dead air.
All right. Thanks to your visit, Wendy's is able to recognize Heisman-worthy students. Does that work?
Better than dead air. Better than burps and dead air.
That's all I got. Hey guys, good afternoon. Hope you are both well. Thanks for publishing another great pod/vodcast. Funny, not funny, that you both have had a crappy couple of weeks. I'm right with you, hoping things will make a turnaround soon. Dustin, first things first. Great mustache. Keep up the good work. I think there's a beard in there somewhere as well, but I can't really tell on camera. I agree about Mario Kart SNES. Great at the time, but really hard to go back and play. Glad to hear that Doom/Wolfenstein 2 are coming to the Switch. That is a good third-party win for the Switch. I also saw that Wonder Boy: The Dragon's Trap on the Switch outsold PC and PS4 and Xbox One copies of the same game combined. That should entice more Switch indie titles. Good stuff. I'm enjoying my Switch overall. Glad to hear you guys cover some tough issues like PewDiePie stuff. I feel that your opinions and coverage are well balanced, and I appreciate that. I don't pay much attention to all of that drama, so it was good to get caught up through your show.
Thanks.
Scott, awesome story about relating to the Netflix show about the Final Fantasy dad. That's in my queue, by the way. I still haven't watched it, but
I've watched a couple more. It gets dumber, but I still like it.
Okay.
But full disclosure, it's silly.
Okay. I want to watch that at some point. It was cool to hear about how you and your dad connected over Nintendo and Mega Man. Scott, I'm excited for the Final Fantasy VI playthrough with you. It's public now, so no turning back.
I sent him that patched ROM too.
Cool.
So we're going to be playing the same game, which is nice.
That's awesome. Line of the week. Dustin, belch. Scott, you did not mute yourself. Dustin, sorry, I just vomited all over the internet.
That was pretty funny. Like it sucks for our listeners, but that was hilarious. That's the first time I can think of that where mute just didn't work for you.
Yeah.
where you fully leaned into it and banked on it.
Yeah.
You know,
I really
you've had it
chickens
not
up.
work and you've like covered your mouth or something, but it was like you're like, no, it's muted. I'm cool. That was funny. I can't stop thinking about Sherbert from last week.
Oh my goodness. I tried to block it from my mind.
Like I don't listen to our show, but I did go back and listen to that segment just to hear your mind blown again. Because when you listen, you can hear you, like the wheels continuing to spin. Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I had it that. Wait a minute, nothing is real. You went from a grammar mistake to there is no God. So, yeah, Tony, good stuff, man. I look forward to playing some more stuff with you here coming up. I am really excited that he got that budget PC working, because now he can have something kind of away from everybody that can play games, so we can get together and play something on Steam or whatnot. Because he's got a rig that can play stuff, but it's nice to have the spare one where it's about casual. You know, put it on low settings, get the thing running, and let's hang out.
Yeah.
Good deal. So, all right, we have some stuff from our good buddy Dumez. He says that he's been buying mad stuff on our Amazon affiliate links. Thanks, dude.
Thank you.
Yes, he's not the only one. Some Americans have been stepping up too, so thank you guys. Also, was it? No, it was JC. It wasn't Angela. JC last week, she was talking about wanting to overclock her PC. And Demez brings up a neat thing that I would like to discuss that I haven't done, but it's really cool to talk about. He says, I saw a cool video about it if you're not overclocking. So if you're not planning on overclocking, consider this. Do what's called an undervolt. And the reason for doing this is there's zero performance hit if you can lower it as much as you can while it's still stable. So you can go too low. But it tends to be able to make your processor a few degrees cooler. And he said, I saw a guy do this, and he got 4 to 5 degrees cooler with the lowest stable CPU voltage. He had the same frequency and the exact same performance. I have seen people use this for home theater computers because all they need is a player to work.
Yeah.
So by undervolting it, you're not doing any rendering or processing. You just need something to play on the TV. This helps when you don't have good ventilation. It saves on power, and you can step back your frequency then if you need to. And I don't. Have you messed around with getting into your BIOS and changing voltages or anything?
Nah, not really.
It's the way that they are now, they're color coded. So if you go from like 1.5 volts to 1.65 volts, it'll change from white to yellow. Okay. And then if I would type in 2 volts, it would just be red. Like, do not do this. So as long as if you're going for an overclock, you can kind of push the limit with that. Generally, in this current day, in my processor, which is a few years old now, 1.65 volts was kind of the sweet spot for the overclocking. But nowadays, that's not as necessary. But undervolting is a very underutilized technique in PCs. So, Dumez, thanks for pointing that out, dude.
I feel like undervolt is an indie game, like a Mega Man wannabe.
Oh my god. Undervolt is an amazing indie game name.
Yeah.
I'm going to write an email to the Hacknet guys, and you're just trying to lower power. Let those guys handle it, and they'll call it Undervolt.
Get Tom Happ on Twitter.
Oh, dude.
Undervolt.
He's busy putting out Axiom Verge on every platform imaginable, which I fully support. That game needs to be available for anybody on any platform that they want to play it. I love that game. Like I'm Axiom Verge has me concerned about when I finally play Super Metroid. I don't think I'm going to like Super Metroid as much.
I don't know. Super Metroid has that double jump though.
Maybe if my expectations remain low, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
I've got that cart. I really need to play it. That's been on I got a great deal on it. That's been on my to-do list for a while. So, yeah, also Dumbass says, if you want to play Gate of Thunder legit, you can download it for the Wii eShop on your Wii U in Wii mode still. Very cool.
Do it. It's good. Do it.
I think I might have to do that.
And then go on eBay and buy a Turbo Duo and copy that game.
And then ask your loan officer to politely defer the first payment. He also says for your home theater PC, not only is undervolting the CPU a good idea, also underclocking the frequency too. As long as it can play your high-res videos, you're good to go. Cooler and electric bill is lower. He also says the leader of, this is related to the EVE Online crazy story from last week. Dumbass says the leader of the guy from EVE Online that got banned, his account had been active for 13 years. The MMO RPG Lineage 2 that I used to play for 10 years, this could not happen. He says they made the game so that only the clan leader could take clan gear and stuff. It was not allowed to delegate to anyone. He said this was a big issue in Lineage 1 because you could give a trusted friend access and then he betrays you. It's not allowed in the game Lineage 1, but for part of 2, they did not allow it. I think that's kind of the fun, though, that everybody can screw you over at any time.
Just like real life.
Just like real life. And in real life, they'll chop off your hands.
That's right.
Dumbass also finally says, the PewDiePie DMCA situation, all the devs should do moving forward is have a big splash on the game at the start saying that if you want to post videos of the content and apply, you need to apply for a free license, which we may or may not grant you. It is not right to say that you can do it and then take it away later. It's clearly not lawful. Yet there's like all they need to do is add, we reserve the right to revoke permission from anyone for our own reasons. Moving forward, you can't retroactively do that. But I agree, dumbass. There's clearly something that they need to just tweak, and everything is above board moving forward. All right, Dustin, that's going to be it for the show, man. We came in a little over an hour, so I want to thank everyone for stopping by. Get a couple quick shout-outs. We got Grim Reaper. We got George McCrate. Of course, we got Ava and Angela. Good to see you guys. Zarek, the kitty himself. Kenneth Myers was here. We got a new subscriber and the Welsh Dragon. Shout out to the Retro League. Really good friends of ours. So thank you very much to everybody for joining this week. So before I do our normal show wrap up, Dustin, you have anything else you wanted to mention?
I did want to say that, or tell Zarek I have not yet watched the Soul Edge video. Not yet.
I watched it. We were talking about it on our stream last night. Oh my God, it's amazing. I had no idea.
I pulled it up, but I was at work, and I didn't want to.
There's a not safe for work scene. There's straight up like a naked lady and a dragon. You don't see her boobs or anything, but you see her from like the back. Right. Implying she's naked.
Implied dragon nudity.
Implied dragon nudity. So, yeah, that's going to be it for the show then, I guess. But yeah, watch Soul Edge, Dustin. If nothing else, it'll make your day 100 times better. If you're stuck doing software transfer tomorrow, just watch it.
Okay.
It'll make it better.
When all those I set up are going to inevitably fail and I have to do all of it over again? Yes.
That'll it'll put a smile back on your face. Get some coffee and drink some drink some Soul Edge. Watch some Soul Edge. Okay, I guess we got to end the show. So I want to thank Ben Landis very much for letting us use his song Through the Forest as our intro music. Thank you to Zarek for letting us use his voice for Classically Podcast Time. If you'd like to hear the audio version of our show, that's available on our website, classicelite.com. Or you can also find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Podbean, SoundCloud, and some other places. But those are the ones we do on purpose. If you'd like to interact with us on social media, we're really active on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Definitely make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. We're close to 10,000, Dustin. We're like,
yeah, we are
30 some away from 10,000 subscribers. So hopefully, if you're an audio-only listener, just to give us the nice round number, why don't you go over and hit subscribe? If you're already subscribed, we love you. Also, follow us on SoundCloud. Not only do we post our podcast there, but also share songs I like that are chiptune related or synthwave related.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see what we're listening to related to video games. Also, want to mention also briefly that we do have our Amazon affiliate links in the description of anywhere that you're listening to this. So if you're in Canada or the US, if you use the link that we have, anything you buy will give us credit within the 24 hours of clicking on that link, unless you clear your browser history or something, or your cookies. But digital video games, I guess, are really conveniently for us a high commission thing. So if you're going to get something digitally through Amazon, consider our link. Outro music this week, Dustin.
Mm-hmm.
It's by They/Them, and it is a song called Nouvelle,
Okay.
which is defined as cooking in nouvelle cuisine or something like that. I tried to look up what nouvelle meant before the show, and they use the word novelle in the definition of it. That drives me insane. I see why teachers would freak out about that in grammar class. Come on, Google. But this is, I heard this song on Chiptunes Win Volume 6. It is just a chiptune-ass song. It's a good dance song. So hopefully everybody will enjoy it. Thanks again for everyone joining in chat, and we will see you next week for episode 248.
Whoosh.
All right, everybody. I'm going to hang out and chat, but I'm going to shut the stream down a little bit. So, we got King Necked Gaming. Oh, sorry I missed you in the shout out, dude. Apologize about that. So, all right. Shutting down the stream, and we'll see you guys next week.